How's it going, folks? Hardcore Casual Gamer here, and we're going to talk about my first non-gaming subject today. So it's a bit of a hot ticket item right now, a bit of controversy. We're going to talk about James Gunn. All right, for those of you who don't know who James Gunn is, he is the man that brought us Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and 2 and all their fun glory. He's the director and co-writer of the films, and he's what gives the films their awesome tone, kick-ass soundtrack, all that stuff. That is James Gunn. While the actors all do their part, James Gunn is like the heart and soul that makes it all come together. So, recently, some tweets that James Gunn made in 2008 and 2009 resurfaced. Now, these tweets apparently were in bad taste, making rape and pedophilia jokes, which in no way are nice things, but they are tweets that are from 2008 and 2009. 10-year-old tweets. Do you guys remember who you were 10 years ago? I remember who I was. I was still in junior high, or middle school, or whatever other places call it. And at the time, my hair was down to here. I thought of heavy metal music like a religion. And was convinced society was out to get me because I was into heavy metal. So, needless to say, you can be a very different person from where you were 10 years ago. So I'm trying to find the tweets right now. But so, here, I think I found on one that said, okay, this isn't in the best taste. But before I read them, I will say he has gone on record saying he regrets posting these, and whenever he posted these were all about eliciting a reaction. You know, saying something controversial for the sake of saying something controversial, not because that's what he believed in or anything like that. It was simply to elicit a reaction, you know. Anyway, so I'll go ahead and read one. And so it is bad. Here's one of the tweets. I like when little boys touch me in my silly place. So that's not so great. Now, then another one that is not so great is the best thing about being raped is whenever you're done being raped, it's like, whew, this feels great, not being raped. Really bad taste humor, but once again, these are tweets from 2008 and 2009. I believe there's a couple more that are also not great. Not seeing all of them here. But basically, that's what James Gunn posted back in 2008 and 2009. Since then, because it hadn't come out yet, Marvel had hired him, and he had made two successful films. Because keep in mind, 2008 was whenever we had first got Iron Man, the film that even started the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the first place. So, because of that, you can't imagine that should affect his ability to stay hired. I mean, he had already done these things by the time you had hired him. This isn't like a Roseanne situation where she's intentionally like saying something racist about a politician. Which Roseanne's a topic for another day, and she went on and admitted that she was on like Ambien or something whenever she posted that. Yeah, that makes you look better. Yeah, you were on drugs when you said, oh, okay, cool. It's fine, guys. I was just on drugs. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, yeah, right. Drugs are like a free pass. Cool. Now, that doesn't mean that James Gunn should get a pass for saying these things, but who hasn't made a distasteful joke in their life? Everybody has at some point. I know I have. Pretty sure anybody that I work with has. I'm pretty sure I hear distasteful jokes on a regular basis at my job, and definitely at the job I worked before. So, punishing a man who delivered solid films and worked well with his cast, who I'll talk about in a sec, seems odd and like an overreaction, especially whenever he was currently working on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. But speaking of the cast, here's one of the big issues, is the cast has his support. They have officially joined the movement, #rehire James Gunn. But the entire cast of Guardians of the Galaxy has agreed on this. While the rest of the MCU may not, both Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth have been known, or have officially unfollowed him on Twitter, but the rest of the cast, the people that he actually works with, are in his full support. What's worse is Dave Bautista, the man who plays Drax, says it is nauseating for him to go into work at Disney now that they've fired James Gunn. And I would imagine so. I mean, keep in mind, you went in take this for example. You go in for a job interview. The manager you talk to is great. You both vibe, get along just perfectly. Everything is great. You work there for several years. You and that manager, you get along great. You are a freaking power couple, and you get shit done. Deliver results. Then the manager that hired you and you've been working with for years gets fired on a technicality that isn't really that big of a deal. He shouldn't be fired for it, but he gets fired off of the technicality. And now you're forced to work with a new manager that just isn't who hired you. This isn't what you signed up for, which is what Dave Bautista has said. This isn't what I signed up for. I signed up to work with James Gunn, which, understandable. It sounds like James Gunn is a great guy to work with, which further illustrates the kind of tragedy of this whole thing. Now, one thing that I think nobody's really talking about that it could be, now this is just a theory of mine, this is not any factual evidence or anything. So, my theory is James Gunn had already done something to irk the heads at Marvel and Disney. He had done something that made them kind of want to get rid of him. What that was, who knows? Maybe he just wasn't the easiest to work with on the corporate end of things. And so, because of that, they were looking for any easy way out to fire him. And lo and behold, these tweets resurface, and boom, get him out of here. Now, I wholly support the rehiring of James Gunn, but if you are James Gunn, would you even want to go back? This company stabs you in the back, fires you over something you said. You said. You didn't do. He didn't rape anyone. He wasn't raped, as far as we know. He didn't molest little boys. He made jokes about it, which I'm sure plenty of people have made awful jokes about very sensitive subjects like that. And so, he didn't do these things, and yet he is being punished for them. Now, I think the real tragedy, though, of this whole thing is the fact that the reason why these tweets resurfaced is there is a conservative smear campaign going on where they are digging up dirt on various individuals, and they are posting it, bringing it to light, and causing people like James Gunn to be fired. And I think that's what's more disgusting about this, is that this conservative group managed to get their way. They managed to throw this out there and get a good man fired for something so simple. empowering their campaign. Essentially, that's what Disney has done, has empowered their campaign, given them exactly what they want, which is not good. It isn't good at all. Plus, on top of this, I haven't investigated this myself, but it said that the individual that brought these tweets to life has posted far worse things themselves. I don't know this for a fact. This is just what I've read. But with that in mind, it's like, why is this happening to James Gunn? Why is James Gunn being made an example of? And couldn't have it at least waited until after Guardians Volume 3 came out? But I'm in support of you, James Gunn. If you ever see this, I think what's being done to you is wrong, and it sucks. But what can you do? In the meantime, folks, stay awesome, and I'll see you next time.